Well, everybody's working for the weekend, and now we're finally here. And how are we going to enjoy it? With one of the relatives of Blackie and Red. Hello, everyone. My name is Wayne.
And I'm Rebecca.
And we are your Bourbon Journey. Well, recently, for my 60th birthday, my wife took me on a cruise. Of course, being bourbon people, we were trying to find bourbon, but we had to settle because there wasn't a whole lot. This bottle, though, we ran across, and we tried it in a tasting that was done on the ship by Desmond. Rebecca is going to tell you a little bit about what we found out about this on the ship.
This is Johnnie Walker Black Ruby. It's a blended Scotch whiskey. The company is Diageo. Now, there's several distilleries involved with this. The Roseisle, they use that for the backbone malt. Clynelish, Glenkinchie, Cardhu, Cameron Bridge, and Caol Ila. It is a blend of single malt and single grain whiskeys, non-age stated. It is 80 proof. It is finished in a combination of Pedro Jimenez and Oloroso Sherry casks, as well as first fill red wine casks and a few ex-bourbon casks. Its MSRP is $50, and we did purchase it for that on the Enchanted Princess cruise ship. This was released initially as a pilot in 2024. The global rollout began in March of 2025. Most commonly, it's still only available in duty-free shops, but happily, it's expected to hit the U.S. high-end liquor store market more broadly during the second half of 2026. Now, Master Blender Dr. Emma Walker is the first female Master Blender for Johnnie Walker. So this is going to be pretty interesting for us to try again. We had little tastes of it on the ship during the tasting. We did quite a few Johnnie Walkers in that tasting. As a matter of fact, this was by far my favorite. It had some fabulous notes. If you're anything like us, if you're a bourbon drinker, which is probably why you're watching this channel, this is a great bridge if you want to dip your toe in Scotch.
I would agree. We found it really fascinating. And the tasting that we did, there's a couple of variations of Johnnie Walker that we've been curious to try. And we actually did have the opportunity on that ship to be able to do it. The green label was one. They had a gold one, if I remember correctly, as well. And they had another one, I think, that was gold, that was exclusive, if I remember correctly. It was a travel exclusive.
That one was terrific.
Yes, and this one here. I've really been waiting for this since the ship.
I love the nose on this.
Yes.
We are recovering red wine drinkers. We still like it. We don't drink it as much anymore. We drink a lot less doing bourbon and whiskey than we did when we drank wine. But this is bringing me back. It's got a big wine nose on it.
I'm getting almost a port-like smell. I'm getting a wine.
It's got red wine casks as well as a couple different kinds of sherry casks.
It's very, very bright.
And it's deep at the same time. That sounds very strange, but it's also deep because one of the notes I'm getting is a fig.
Okay.
And I do like fig. Wayne's not as big a fan of fig as I am, but on the nose, it's just a great smell. And my understanding is that actually comes from the Pedro Jimenez sherry cask.
I never pick up fig. My wife's giving me fresh fig. She's giving me fig and Newton, and it never registers with me.
But it's such a complex nose. Every time you go in, you get something different. One time you're getting the grape notes from the wine. Sometimes you're picking up that sherry with the fig. It's almost like maraschino cherries kind of a thing going on too.
This is a big thing for Emma because this is her first baby. It's her first stepping out of everything else they have and her very first creation with the brand.
Yeah. And I will say, those of you that are afraid of Scotch because of the peatiness, I find this to be more of a light smoke versus a peat. It's got a light smokiness back here. It doesn't overtake your nose like a peat does sometimes. Not always, but sometimes it can. So be open-minded about that because this isn't going to just knock you down and say, whoa. You can tell it's there, but it's more like you walked by a nice barbecue.
Well, although the wine components with it really overtake it. The peatiness, if it's there, and it is a little bit, it's almost like a smokiness in the background. It's taken a back step to the barrel notes of the wine. I'm ready to drink this. I'm tired of smelling it.
Me too, and it's
really
got
good, though.
Fantastic legs on it too.
So, Dr. Emma Walker, cheers to you and your new creation.
Johnnie Walker Black Ruby.
Cheers.
Cheers. Now, I will say the first thing I got on my tongue was smoke at that point in time,
The smokiness does come through.
but then it shifts pretty fast.
The palate aligns, but it's not as bright on the taste as it was on the nose, which would stand to reason. I would be very shocked if it was so wine forward.
I do think it's very jammy, though.
It is.
That's a red wine term. It's fruity and jammy, and that's how I feel like we used to say that all the time at wineries. It's got that thing going on. It's got that very jamminess, which I'm enjoying a lot. And it does have this like subtle, almost saltiness to it, and that's from Isla. That's right there on the water. It's an island, and it's sea salt air, but it's not like salty like you're eating a pretzel. It's like salt as an enhancing flavor. Right? Those of you that cook, you know what I mean. Because if you leave salt off of something, it kills your flavors. But if you just add a touch of salt, not making it briny, but just a touch of salt, it just enhances and brings all your other flavors forward. And that's how I'm feeling this does.
Yeah, the saltiness that's there, I didn't think about it until you mentioned it. And the salt, as it goes through the back of the palate, it starts to pick up. And I probably would not have thought about it till you said it. And it's very evident.
It's light as a flavor enhancer. I wouldn't call it salty. Let's hone in a bit for the finish. I do sometimes have trouble with 80 proof spirits and the finish. They sometimes don't give me a lot, but this has a lot going on. So what are you feeling about the finish there?
Basically, as it goes to the back, there's a smokiness that's there. There's also, for me, a little peppery type notes combined with that salt. I almost wish I had an egg to crack to pour with it. It'd probably work really well. It's a pleasant finish. It lasts a little bit, not really hot.
But it hangs around.
It does. It slowly hangs around.
It's not heated in any way at 80 proof, but it's complex. And I don't often get a lot of complexity on a finish in an 80 proof spirit, but this one, I agree with what Wayne said about that light smokiness. This continues as you're finishing. Hint of that fig is still coming through, a little bit of jamminess still there, but I'm also getting a little hint of dark chocolate back there. And I think that's got to be the barrel.
Probably.
Or one of the barrels. There were many barrels that were used. And to me, that is just rounding it out from where we started to where it was on the palate to where it's ending with that like wispy, smoky, dark chocolate note is the perfect finish for this.
I took a pretty big hit there. I'm just going over it again. It's just so jammy. The salt, the pepper in the back, the smokiness. It's very pleasant. It's very, very pleasant.
I like it a lot.
I think it's a big coincidence that Emma Walker has that last name like the brand Johnnie. And obviously she has some real love for the game of making some good stuff, because boy, this is really good.
The blend is fabulous. It's just genius what was blended together. I love getting the notes from everything that was done there, whether it was wine or bourbon or sherry, and pulling pieces from the various Diageo Scotch distilleries. There's 5 regions of Scotch in Scotland, and pulled some from each region because they each have a different nuance, and you get all that playing very well together. It's not fighting one another.
It's not.
That's pretty amazing to me. I like it. I would buy it again. This is a great $50 bottle of Scotch in my mind, and I look forward to it being available in the US, and at least we have 2 bottles to start with.
We do. And when it gets out there, we definitely recommend that you pick up a bottle of it. It's
Or if
worth
you're
it.
traveling, look for it in the travel stores or things abroad. We're in the Caribbean islands. Quite a few of the stores had it in the islands.
I'm going to raise my glass. Dr. Emma Walker, who's making Johnnie Walker. You have your own version here with different wine components that's outstanding. This is really, really good. If you like what we do, hit the subscribe button. Always remember to drink responsibly. Cheers.
Cheers.